Been a hell of a week, hasn't it? Some of you who watch this channel regularly know that I'm a huge Mighty Morphin Power Ranger fan. Actually, I'm a huge Power Ranger fan overall. I love the show. I love the movies. I love the comic books, video games. I'm just, you can see on the back of my wall right here. This is what I grew up with. And when I finally got my hands on someone, I decided to go out and just get everything I could. Power Rangers, including this Bandai Legacy Green Ranger helmet. As some of you know, we lost a very important figure in the Ranger community this past week. If you haven't heard, Jason David Frank, the original Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Zeo, Red Turbo, and Dino Thunder Black Ranger, passed away Saturday. And when I first heard the news, I couldn't believe it. It was someone playing a joke. Like it couldn't have been true. This is Jason David Frank. This is the greatest of all time Power Ranger. Like, this is the guy that everyone looks to and aspires to, and have heard so many great stories from other people who've met him. And I couldn't believe it myself that he passed away. And it didn't hit me until Sunday when the news was confirmed. And I'm sure, just like the rest of you guys who really had a deep connection with him, in terms of what he was and what he did and how he treated his fans, I cried. I cried yesterday. It was hard for me to kind of go to work. It was hard for me to do my job because I was just so strung up on what had happened. Like, this dude was my hero. I grew up with this guy. He was the reason why I got into martial arts and earned my black belt in Taekwondo. He's the guy. I wanted to meet him. I never got the chance to meet him, and it kind of sucks now that I probably won't get the chance to meet him. So I see the Ranger community. We're all in solidarity. We're holding up our morphers. We're holding up our daggers. We're showing off our helmets. We're showing our solidarity because this guy was an inspiration. Jason David Frank was an inspiration to everybody who knew the word Power Rangers. Not particularly in that order, but Ranger Power, Power Ranger, doesn't matter. He was the leading face in the franchise. And so I wanted to do something to kind of help you guys cope, because I know a lot of people were in pain because I was in pain. And there was tons of people just in tears. They were crying. They couldn't understand what had happened. And so I wanted to sort of kind of do something for you guys. And by that, I wanted to, and I've been planning this for a while. I just thought it'd be under better circumstances, but I've been planning on building the Green Ranger's armor for the longest time. If you don't know, if you're new to this channel, I'm a 3D printing enthusiast. I 3D print everything I get my hands on. Unfortunately, these aren't 3D printed. The helmet isn't 3D printed. The helmets up here are not 3D printed. Those are all store-bought. But, I like being able to get files and do make them and stuff like that. Now, it's not the original Green Ranger armor. I don't want to give you guys that impression. It's actually Matthew Cook's exclusive comic book version of the Green Ranger. But I figured, hey, why not? It's the Green Ranger, and in my eyes, the Green Ranger will always be Tommy, a.k.a. Jason David Frank. So I wanted to start this series and build this armor from start, from modeling it, well, not modeling it, from slicing it to printing it to sanding it down and make it look good, because I've been wanting to cosplay as the Green Ranger, and I wanted to do Matthew Cook's version for the longest time. I just haven't had the time to actually sit down and do it. But now, considering what happened and to pay tribute to Jason David Frank, I've decided to start this YouTube series where I will be building the entire new Green Ranger armor set, from helmet to the chest to the gauntlets to the rings to the ankle guards that I have. And you can see the model right here of what it's going to look like. Now, I didn't model this. This is from my one of my good acquaintances online. His name is Vinay Chetty. He does a really great job at modeling stuff, and if you guys want to go and give him a shout, he's always looking for more work. He does a really great job, really cool dude, so go and do that. So, yeah, let's get started. Now, to be clear, I don't want to be the guy that's riding on the coattails of what happened this week with Jason David Frank in terms of trying to gain followers or more Patreons or something like that. So for the sake of this video series, I will not be mentioning my Patreon. I will not ask you guys to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I won't ask you guys to like anything or to follow me on social media. This isn't for that. I'm not trying to gain any clout by what happened to our beloved dear friend. But for the sake of asking, because I know people are going to ask, where'd you get this file, where are your socials, stuff like that, I will post the links to my Patreons and stuff in the description. So if you feel the need to check me out there and you want to join up, great, go for it. I'm not explicitly asking you, but the links will be in the description. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get started with this build. It's going to take a while, hopefully not too long, but I'm excited to get started, and I hope you guys do stick around. So let's go and check out the first piece. So this was the first piece that I printed. If you follow me on TikTok or any of my social medias, you would have seen that I was excited when this thing came off. This is Matthew Cook's version of the Green Ranger helmet. Yeah, it's a bit big. It needs to be a big because I don't know how to scale my head properly. So for the most part, it fits pretty good, nice and snug, and the detail on this thing is great. Now, I didn't really do any recording on the print. I actually did this print as a test on my Anycubic Chiron. So if you go and check out my video where I unboxed the Chiron, you'll see this thing printing. It took 3.5 days to print. 3.5 days to print. And I'm digging how the spikes here come up. This thing is going to be gold here. You have a gold trim along the mouth here, along the teeth, the red eyes. Oh, it's going to look sick, and I'm so stoked on how this thing looks. So a little comparison. This is Matthew Cook's helmet. Yeah, like I said, it's a bit wide in the front, but it needed to be kind of broken, like widened out for it to fit my head. This is going to be scaled to fit me. It might fit other people. I mean, it might be a little big. I have a big head, so this is I'm really happy with this. And this is the back of it right here. It just kind of comes on like that. And just like the Bandai version helmet, I made the cut in the back because I didn't want to mess with the ridge here. The ridge is very important because if you open it, you can't really open it because the ridges are going to collide. So it's best to do it here. And that's another reason why I made it wider. It's so when you do open it up, you can kind of sort of slide your head in like how you do on the Bandai helmet. So let's put that there. This is the Bandai helmet. It's been sitting here. This is not as just hardcore as this one. This one has the ridges on top, honestly, and it has more angles and a little sharp curves around it and stuff like that. So this one is a bit more just intense to look at, and I love the design of it on it, and I love how it looks. The original helmet is just, you know, original Green Ranger helmet. It has its ridges, and like the way I did it, this one actually opens like this. Like I said, you can't open it here because the ridges are going to crash when you lift it up. So it's best to open it here, and you actually have to kind of come in and put it on your head as though you're putting on a mask, essentially. So that's how that's going to look. So this was the first one I did. Like I said, 3.5 days. And then I got the rest of the armor made. I just got my hands on the dragon shield and the gauntlets and the leg pieces and stuff. If you haven't seen what Matthew Cook's armor looked like, here's a picture of it over here. Yeah, right there. I originally thought that his design when he was first introduced in the comic book was the Bat in the Sun when Jason Davis Frank fought Ryu, and he had the gold on his the ridges. I'm sorry, the gold on his ridges came out when he took out the dragon dagger, and his suit looked more armored. But it's actually a variation of that. Matthew Cook's armor is a variation of that. The gold ridges is one of it. The white gauntlets on the arms and the ankles is another part of it. But you also have the dragon shield, which is a little bit more spiked up, kind of like Lord Dragon, just not as intense and big as Lord Dragon. His suit is a little bit more sleek, and you'll see that he has like green energy coursing through his suit, which I haven't really decided on how I want to do that. I might get some LED tubes and do that, or something along those lines. I haven't really gotten that far yet, but this is going to be part of this whole entire build. So once I figure out how I'm going to go about doing it, I'm going to show you guys what I did and how I'm going to do that. So this part 1 is done. This helmet looks good. This is going to take a lot of finessing and cleaning up to make it look nice, but I think for the most part, I'm very, very happy with how this turned out. Alright, now to my 3D printing lab. We are printing the gauntlets that Matthew Cook has on his arms, and I gotta say, these gauntlets look so dope. I can't really wait to have it. So I'm printing the back version here, but the front version of it is right here. Now this is actually kind of oversized. but I'm a big dude. I have really big hands and forearms, so this should work fairly well for my body size. Now, I did do an original pitch, but yeah, you can see how small this is. This isn't going to work for me compared to this behemoth of a gauntlet. Now, this is kind of big, a little bit for my taste, but when I put it on and I get a feel for it, it feels nice. It feels really good. Here's the back portion to it, but this is for the left hand, and this is the underneath part of the arm. And I'm going to show you guys how it fits and what it looks like in a minute. Right now, my Cobra is printing the back part for this one. As you can see, my Sidewinder doesn't have enough filament to print the front part, which would be this part, but for my other arm, for my right arm, that would go to this part. So I need to get more white filament, but maybe I'll just do it in black to kind of get it going, and it's going to be sanded down anyway, so I really don't think that I need to sit here and wait for more filament. But there you go. So let's take it back to my desk and let me show you guys how these things look. Okay, so here's the first gauntlet that I did. As you can see, compared to my forearm here, it's not as big. Now, when you look at this picture, which is here, you see how far the gauntlets kind of come up. They almost reach up to the bicep rings that are on his biceps. Now, with this one, this is kind of big, and it fits my arm pretty snug, and it fits like a glove. My only concern is that it might be too high because the gauntlet rings are going to fit here, and I haven't really deciphered how I feel about that. Is it too much? But for the gauntlets, they fit really good. And then of course you have this part here. Again, these are opposites. This is for my left hand, this is for my right. Maybe it's the other way. I don't remember. Don't judge me. This one sort of kind of fits here, just like that. So you see my hands, I have really big forearms, like I lift a lot. So this looks like it's gonna be snug. I bet you're asking, well, why didn't you do it as one whole piece? Well, because this opening here, it kind of telescopes up. So as you go up, the opening kind of comes up. I have really big hands. I can't stick my hand in. I've already had this issue when I was building the arm parts for my Star Boost armor. I couldn't put my hand all the way in, so I really had to upsize that. And now it just looks like a giant tube on my arm, and I didn't want this one to look like that. So I scaled it up. I played around with the numbers based off of how I scaled this and went from there. So right now, this fits actually really well. I think underneath, I think that looks really good. It's gonna have some cushioning in it to make it more snug to where it's not moving around on my arm or anything like that. And the plan is to get this going with some magnets to where it just snaps into place with the top part, and a peg or something to where the magnets don't slide around when they're on your arm. You know, just make it more snug and more secure, so if you were to strike a pose or something like that, these don't go flying off, because that would be really embarrassing. So there you go. I'm really super excited for this. This is the first part, and it looks really good. Honestly, it looks really damn good, and I'm really super impressed. So I'm printing the respective part for this one that goes underneath, and then once that's done, I'm going to print the top part, which is this part, but for this arm on this one. So next up, I have the legs, and I can tell you right now, the legs are going to be super difficult because I have really big legs. And as you can see in the picture, his anklets, they kind of have like a knee guard, and like I said, I have really big calves, so it's going to be some finessing. There's going to be some fixing. I might have to cut the part up into multiple parts. And you see here that in this design, his gauntlets are kind of attached to the glove. So it's kind of like there's a glove attached to this, and when you put your hand in, you kind of put your hand in through the glove, and it's all one part. I didn't want to go that route because I like the way this is going to do. I was actually thinking about removing the diamond here, because in the comic books, I'm not really sure what the logic is, but in the comics, this is actually green, the diamond here. I don't know if you can see it because of the reflection. This is actually lit up green, and I was planning on maybe cutting this out, cutting out the diamond part, and maybe doing a resin print in like a clear or something like that, and sticking an LED, because there's a little notch in here where you can stick an LED and have a battery pack in here to make it give it that glow. Not sure if I'm still going to do that, if I decide to maybe scale this down and print it again at a much maybe slightly less big size. It's still in the air. I don't really know what I want to do just yet. But for now, I'm actually really happy with this. Yes, it's a bit high, but if you're talking about, it goes on the side of your arm like this. You have a gauntlet there, and then the rings are going to be somewhere along this area right here on my arms. And I might be able to get away with it. Not entirely sure. The rings are going to be another thing because I have, like I said, I have really big arms. But I'm really stoked about this, and I can't wait to sort of kind of finish up the rest. So I will show you in the next part 2, when I'm doing the ankles, what these actually look like on my arms. Like I said, I'm taking you through the entire process here. I'm not going to be cutting corners with you guys. I really want to do this, and I'm going to do it. And I hope you guys do stick around. So yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to start that dragon shield. That's gonna be really dope. That's gonna be really dope. And that's gonna do it for this video, part 1 of this tribute build to Jason David Frank. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you're new to 3D printing and you have any questions, let me know. I can probably give you guys a little bit of advice if you're having some trouble, if you're trying to get awesome prints like this, or if you're trying to do a cosplay build. Like I said, I'm not the biggest know-it-all when it comes to sizing my own body. I have no idea how to do that. I just do the X, Y, and Z and measure whatever part I'm trying to make. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. It is up to you. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And if you guys want to talk in the comment section, let me know. I'm here for anybody who is having a little rough go with this. It was so sudden, it was so tragic. So do me a favor, guys, share your stories of JDF in the comments. I like to hear stories of people who met him, people who talked with him. He really loved his fans. And like I said, I never got the chance to experience that, but I just heard it from a lot of people who did get the chance to meet him, how down to earth and just a wonderful person he was. So go ahead, share your stories. I want to hear about that. And you know, I'm here for you guys if you guys need to talk or anything like that. So hit me up in the comment section, and I will see you guys in part 2. So I got to get back to work in my lab, get the other parts going, and I got to order a bunch of filament because this project is going to take a lot of time, money, and effort. But hey, like I said, this is my passion project now. I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for JDF. And if he were here, you know, I hope he likes it. I hope you guys like it too. So again, I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys, and stay in touch. Bye.